Hey everyone, and welcome back to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of the absolute most fascinating moments in the entire Mahabharata. We're going to break down Kuvera's ancient monologue, pulling out his timeless secrets to success, strategy, and leadership. And look, this isn't just ancient myth we're talking about here. It's a literal masterclass in human psychology and governance that honestly feels incredibly relevant to us today. So let's kick things off with the million-dollar question, right? According to Kuvera, the Lord of Treasures himself, how do you actually achieve enduring success? Think about it. When you have the undivided attention of Yudhishthira, a king who has been completely stripped of his kingdom and is literally living in a forest, what is the single most important piece of advice you could possibly give him about eventually taking his world back? Section 1. The 5 Keys to Success, a timeless formula. Kuvera starts by laying down this philosophical foundation that translates flawlessly into a modern masterclass on strategic patience. You see, he's preparing a king for a massive war that's on the horizon, but he's doing it by focusing entirely on the mind first. He outlines 5 distinct traits that he says are absolutely essential for anyone hoping to govern the world. We're talking patience, ability, appropriate time, appropriate place, and prowess. He actually points out that in the Golden Age, men naturally displayed these traits. They knew exactly when and where to exert their energy. Because it's not just about having sheer power, right? It's about having the extreme, ironclad discipline to use that power at the precise right moment. But what about the flip side? Well, Kuvera gives us his exact definition of the opposite of a successful leader, what he literally calls the stupid person. This is a leader who is completely blinded by anger. Someone who entirely ignores the expediency of timing and just acts out of pure rashness, hoping for a quick victory. Kuvera gives a really stark warning here. A person who cannot see their own fall because of their anger is going to meet with absolute destruction, both in this world and the next. All of their hard work, entirely fruitless.
Section 2. The Dangers of Rashness. Checking Bhima.
Now, this severe warning about rashness, it isn't just some abstract philosophical TED Talk. Kuvera is actually staging a direct, highly targeted intervention aimed at a very specific family member, standing right in front of him, Bhima. Kuvera pulls absolutely no punches here. He calls him fearless, sure, but also ignorant of duties, haughty, and having the sense of a child. He explicitly tells Yudhishthira that he has got to keep his brother's impulsiveness in check. Kuvera knows full well that Bhima only came up to that mountain out of pure rashness, and unchecked, that exact kind of volatile energy will completely destroy their larger strategic goals. To really drive this point home, Kuvera pulls off this brilliant thematic contrast. He takes Bhima's dangerous impulsivity and juxtaposes it directly against the perfected virtues of his brother Arjuna. Essentially, Kuvera is using Arjuna as the ultimate gold standard for what a warrior prince should actually look like. He's effectively looking right at Bhima and saying, hey, you really need to be a lot more like your brother. Section 3. Arjuna in the Heavens, the Majestic One. So then, Kuvera gives the family this glowing update on Arjuna, who, remember, is currently away in the heavens learning the absolute highest science of weapons. And Kuvera offers him the highest praise you could possibly imagine. He notes that Arjuna has never, not once, committed a shameful act out of a poverty of spirit. In this world of incredibly complex politics and constant deceit, Arjuna is universally recognized for absolute, unwavering honesty. To quote Kuvera directly, "None ever say that Partha hath uttered an untruth." That is a massive compliment. Think of Arjuna's innate perfections, qualities he literally possessed right from birth, as this perfectly balanced wheel of virtues. It's not just about raw physical strength with him. It's this precise, beautiful mix of self-restraint, charity, strength, intelligence, modesty, fortitude, and excellent energy. It's exactly this balance that makes him the ultimate, majestic model of leadership and heroism. He's got all the physical prowess of Bhima, but he crucially tempers it with the exact modesty and intelligence that his brother is currently lacking. Section 4. The Ancestors' Approval. Santanu's Pride. And it's not just the gods and the mystical Gandharvas who are impressed, by the way. This impeccable character has earned the profound respect of their mighty ancestors, too. Kuvera specifically name-drops their great-grandsire, Emperor Santanu. This was a massive historical figure who celebrated 7 grand horse sacrifices on the banks of Yamuna. So Kuvera delivers this deeply personal message straight from heaven. Santanu himself is highly pleased with Arjuna's behavior. You can imagine, knowing your legendary ancestors are watching and actively approving, that gives immense moral support to these exiled brothers. Section 5. Divine Protection and Peace. The Cosmic Restoration.
Okay, so after dropping all this heavy philosophical wisdom and course-correcting the brothers, Kuvera pivots right into immediate practical matters. He assures the Pandavas of their absolute safety while they're in exile. He lays out this comprehensive grid of divine protection. While each brother is powerfully protected by their incredible lineage, Yudhishthira by Dharma, Bhima by the wind god, Arjuna by Mahendra, and the twins by the Aswins, Kuvera adds a really crucial layer. He declares that they are all equally entitled to his own personal protection in the forest. Basically saying, you guys are definitely not out here alone.
Shifting gears from grand cosmic philosophy down to immediate survival, he leaves Yudhishthira with a simple, three-step strategic action plan. First, fiercely check Bhimasena's rashness. Second, repair to the hermitage of the pious sage Arjuna. And third, reside there during the dark fortnight completely without fear or anxiety. Kuvera flat out guarantees that his own servants and Gandharvas are going to procure delicious meats and drinks for them and provide round-the-clock security. Pretty good setup, right?
And wow, the impact of this masterclass is instantaneous. Humbled and finally properly instructed, Bhima physically lowers his weapons. His club, his mace, his sword, his bow, he puts them down and bows to Kuvera. It's such an incredibly powerful visual from the source text, honestly like a pivotal scene in a movie. It perfectly represents raw rashness and anger, gracefully yielding to patience and wisdom. Bhima finally gets the lesson.
And that sets the stage for Kuvera's departure, which is honestly totally cinematic. It's this rapid sequence of events. Kuvera vanishes, and thousands of his followers fly off in these jeweled vehicles that literally, quote, devour the air. At Kuvera's command, the slain Rakshasas are quickly cleared right off the mountain summit. And finally, we learned that this entire battle, it actually served a higher cosmic purpose. It fulfilled a timeline set by the intelligent sage Agastya to free the Rakshasas from an ancient curse. Total order is completely restored. Which leaves us with a pretty massive question to chew on as the Pandavas finally find some peace for the night in their mountain refuge. If absolute patience, emotional regulation, and perfect timing are the true weapons of success, just like Kuvera so brilliantly outlined, how are Yudhishthira and his highly volatile brothers actually going to wield them when the inevitable world-ending war finally kicks off? That is the tension we're going to carry forward. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and remember, never stop questioning how these ancient strategies apply to your own life. Catch you next time.